spoilers ahead for our review of Obsession.
Oh yeah, there's definitely gonna be spoilers.
Written and directed by Curry Barker, who actually got his fame, he off YouTube. He has a YouTube channel with over 1 million subscribers, and that's where he put most of his skits and films on there. He's actually worked with some previous YouTubers and people.
I knew he was a YouTuber. I just never seen any of his stuff.
Yeah, same. And I've been meaning to check out his stuff even before Obsession. Like he has a 1-hour film that I'm really interested in that's free on YouTube. And actually, originally Obsession was originally going to be on YouTube. He was actually thinking about just uploading it on his channel, but
imagine how much money he would have lost.
I know, and then the Focus Features and Blumhouse bought the movie in September 2025 when it premiered at a film festival for 15 million, and it's scheduled for May 2026, and it's been fucking, and I've heard of rumblings of this movie back in September, but I did not expect it to be as successful as it is.
Listen, let's talk about it because
it's actually really good.
So we're basically in the cusp of summer already.
Yeah.
And for all three movies that we're gonna be talking about today, but this one, starting off with this one specifically, bro. The amount of fucking buzz that this movie has managed to garner online is fucking insane. From the memes to constantly, because I follow a lot of movie pages that post a lot of movie related news, and specifically horror movies. And so I've literally been seeing nothing but fucking
praise or
praise
memes and jokes,
and just all the milestones as well that this movie has been reaching, which is also insane. And
not to mention how young, we'll talk about backwards later, but he was born in 99. He's 26, 27, so Gen Z filmmaker and stuff. And I really like seeing Gen Z and the filmmakers coming from that generation starting to come up and making the name for themselves. Even though he has had a strong presence online, that doesn't really correlate with movie success, movie theater success that much. But we're also in a resurgence. There's a lot of YouTubers that are making movies, specifically horror movies, and doing it really well. I
want to check out just because I don't know anything about it except the name.
Yeah.
That Iron Lung movie.
Iron Lung, yeah, and not to mention Talk to Me and Bring Her Back, made by the twins.
Yeah, the twins, the Aussie twins.
Yeah, and then Shelby Oaks, a movie everybody doesn't like, but you actually really enjoy. Made by Chris Stuckman, a YouTube reviewer, and then seeing Kane Parkins, I think. I think Kane Parsons. I have to look
Parsons.
Up. Parsons, okay. With Backrooms, and then Curry Barker with Obsession. It's we're in a resurgence. Not to mention, like you said, the buzz has been crazy. I haven't heard this much buzz on an indie horror movie since Hereditary, back when that first premiered at the film festivals and stuff. And it's already blown most A24 movies out the fucking water, both Obsession and Backrooms. So it's actually kind of crazy, and I'm surprised A24 didn't buy this and distribute. This is a very fucked up movie. We haven't even gone to the movie quick, itself.
Yeah, so before we actually get into the review, the essential, for those of you who might have not don't know anything about it, the basic premise is this dude he really likes this girl that's in his friend group, but he doesn't really have the courage to ask her out.
Yeah, it basically gets friend zoned.
Yeah.
Aww.
And so he goes
the look straight into my eyes.
Yeah, that was a look of disappointment.
But that's what the plot is.
I know, but you'd have to say it like that. I don't need to hear that in my ears. But so essentially he goes into this antique shop or whatever the fuck.
And he grabs a Make-A-Wish thing, which you think would be it's bullshit. Yeah, I just realized what a wish or something. Let's move on.
But so it's this thing called the One Wish Willow.
Yeah,
which basically supposedly has the ability to grant you any wish in the world, and so he gets it, and after a night out at like hanging out with his friends, he breaks it, and he says that he wishes that one girl would like him, Nikki.
Yeah.
He wishes that Nikki would like him more than any girl in the world or anybody in the world.
Yeah.
And then that obviously happens, but it comes with some crazy ass side effects
and consequences.
So that's essentially the plot of the movie. Now the two main characters, I don't know the dude's name. But,
the bear.
No, but like the actor.
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah. So, but the girl Nikki is played by Indy
Navarrete.
And bro,
she is the standout.
Let me just say that
nobody else
in
this movie is doing it like her in this movie.
This movie, like I would attribute a lot of its success to her performance because she absolutely fucking killed it in this movie.
The versatility of terror and horror she displays is actually fucking really incredible, and it's funny because like I do think that's like the main highlight with it's like the way she's able to play, because obviously eventually. It turns out it's not even Nikki. It's like this fucking demon from like another place we don't know about. So like the way she's able to transition from Nikki to this demon, and not to mention how she moves in these certain scenes.
Oh yeah, you were also gonna say too. Another thing that I like. I didn't really think about it until you told me, and then when I like looked back on it, I was like, yeah, like that shit was amazing. Like. The use of fucking lighting.
The lighting is incredible.
Like there's the one scene where like it's the middle of the night and you see when he wakes up because she's not in the bed, she's just like creepily staring at him from like the corner of the room. Bro, the way the light is like going so like you only see her eyes.
Yeah, and like and also the way the darkness is silhouetted on her. And especially in like the scene where like she's like watching him sleep is like fucking some crazy good shit. Very reminds me of like the beginning of her. Like I even told you this. This movie reminds me a lot of Hereditary, which is actually like Curry Barker said. This is the Hereditary is the main influence of Obsession, and he's like, I didn't even know you could do like he was like the way it was like telling a story with the horror and like how harsh the horror was like inspiring to him and he watched it at 17 years old. So like, but like you see it through and through. But also like what other two movies this reminded me of and also influenced Hereditary are the Kiyoshi Kurosawa movies Pulse and Cure, which I honestly think I should put on the wheel because those are really classic Japanese horror films that really actually fucking get under my fucking skin, and this is a high compliment to the movie. It really does remind me of the movies that fucked me up the most, like Cure and Hereditary and some Midsummer shit as well. But you were saying,
what's it called? The one influence, like, or a fun little tidbit that I got through Insta or Twitter, is that I guess apparently one of the main influences for Indy Navarrete's scene on the dinner scene.
Yeah.
Where she's out, where they're out for dinner and she like starts freaking out on him.
Yeah.
Apparently she got inspired by Get Out for that scene, and now it fucking like as soon as I saw it,
Get Out's also
it clicked because if you remember in Get Out, there's that scene with the maid, where like they asked her like some I forgot what he asked her, but then she like
she's like no
like she like subtly does that. I
see that too. I see that too. No, I think this movie just because it takes like such a simple concept and just goes for broke, like because we've seen this type of movie before, not only with like the relationship toxic terror type movie, like Fatal Attraction and Gone Girl. Even I could even point those out to that, but it does it in a very simple but supremely effective way. I actually had a criticism I think I told you about, where it's like I think it borrows too much, but I think about it more. I think how it borrows it, I actually really, because those scares, I haven't had scenes like that actually kind of shit my pants in a movie theater in quite a long time, if I'm being honest. Like I've seen a lot of horror movies, even at home or in the theaters. It doesn't like Bring Her Back, people say it was like really disturbing, but I thought like the only scene that affected me was like when they get hit by the car. when they get ran over and shit. But like you said,
wait,
but like
bring her back,
and bring her back, yeah,
bro. I'll say that. Wait, real quick. For those of you who haven't seen our review of that fucking movie, probably the funniest fucking experience that I've had in a theater with you in like recent memory. Because I remember as soon as that fucking scene happened, you immediately burst out into fucking laughter.
Bro, I fucking love it. Then same with Weapons, which also fucking was inspired by Hereditary. Hereditary
inspired a lot.
Inspired so much, bro. It's crazy seeing that movie the influence in real time. But Obsession also I could see Obsession just influencing a whole lot of Gen Z and Gen Alpha filmmakers in the future. Because it's so simple, but it's really effective. And when you talk to, and there's been a whole discourse about this, when you talk to other people about it, specifically women, it's also a terrifying movie because it's not only about toxic entrapment in a relationship, but also like of like culture in the relationship, especially because the sex scenes in hindsight are actually really gross and disturbing.
Oh yeah, you know what? Now that you point that out, I remember. I think it was the one that happens right after she has that freak out at the restaurant.
Yeah,
and then like it immediately cuts to them having sex.
Yeah,
I noticed that in that shot, like. She's kind of like looking off into the distance.
Yeah, that's very like horrifying, and I think this movie is able to do that really well and comment. I think one of my favorite scenes is when she's talking to him while she's asleep. I think that one's like when it talks to what I was talking about, like the culture I was talking about. I think that's like the major one because that makes you realize, oh shit, none of this is really like Nikki. And yeah, because like originally I rated it lower, but I'm probably going to give it a higher rating because the more I think about some of these scenes and how they connect, I actually really like with this movie heavy. And I think I love the scene, and I don't see a lot of people talk about this, but when he calls the wish people like for the details of like how to cancel the wish, and then you just like. By the way, that's a director on the phone. That's a director cameo on the phone. And then you just hear, he's like, "Do you want to hear?" And he's like, "What?" He's like, and it's you just hear Nikki in hell through the phone.
Oh yeah.
That shit was like really startling and really good. I really need to check this other director's movies out on YouTube. Definitely,
But no, I was also gonna say one of my favorite fucking scenes of the whole movie. And here's the thing, as somebody who's like a fan of horror movies and specifically like horror movies like Terrifier and shit where like the kills are like very over the top. Bro, the fucking kill scene in the car with the steering wheel is I'm not gonna lie, that's honestly like one of my favorite kills I've seen in a while.
Yeah, not to mention they had to cut it down for the theater release. It's actually much longer.
Oh yeah, because I'm pretty like I don't know if I told you like in the theater, but when it initially happened, like goddamn, she's still going.
I know.
Like that scene went on for a minute.
Yeah, no, and then it just kept going in the original. But the original cut should be coming soon and streaming. So, well, not soon. There's actually delayed the streaming because the movie's fucking doing so fucking well. By the way, it cost $750K. Not that much for a movie, and it's making a whole lot of money back, which means we're gonna get a lot more shit like this.
Movie and shit, real quick, before I forget. I saw this as a headline recently. I think it might have been through IGN or something. So I don't know how legit it is. I would have to look it up. But apparently, one of the higher ups at Netflix recently came out and made a statement saying that he wouldn't work with any directors who
want theater releases.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. No, that's stupid. It's dumb. You're losing a whole lot of money. Yeah, sure. When a movie flops in a theater, it's bad. But like when it's successful in a theater, it's really like, well, I got this. It's really like very lucrative, But like people, you just don't know. Movies are very unpredictable. You just don't know when something's a hit and when something's not. But like, we're not talking about that. We're talking about how fucking much we actually really enjoy Obsession. And I think my faults originally were heavier, but I'm more light on them now. But I still have them.
I will say, so originally going into this episode, I was kind of I was essentially gonna try to roast you.
Yeah.
Because you had been like throwing some subtle shade at Obsession on Twitter. But
What's not shade?
Yeah,
it's just. I
that
think
one about the one about fucking what's it called? What was the? I think you said something about. I think you were saying something about Holcomb.
Yeah, but I'll talk about it real quick after we do this. But I still like the Holcomb scares a lot more. Like those actually got me real good. The Holcomb stairs, but the Obsession stairs are still really effective and really strong. Bro, I didn't even talk about the scene that got me the most was when she fucking started walking backwards.
Oh yeah,
bro, nah, fuck that. Fuck that. The way she was moving and shit, it was like some like Exorcist shit. Like it does, this movie does remind me of like the best of like the best. Even Jaws, like the tension of it is just like this ominous thing, just waiting to like just munch and explode. And then the ending is really cruel. It's a really like very like downbeat. Like that's a very like Ari Aster type ending. It's like it ends really fucked up for fucking Nikki, and that's also an allegory to like the culture people were commentating on earlier. I'm like, yeah, like would you could say there's a lot of ways that how Nikki feels in that scene are what a lot of women have to deal with, and it's like it's very bleak, but also it's like there's a lot of infusion of classic shit, but also it does it really well. And like you said, well, like I'm going to say with Backrooms, this has had a lot of younger people like seeing this shit.
Yeah,
and just
this,
I'm not
gonna lie, this is the most like, especially like in the span of when Obsession, Holcomb, and then also like Backrooms came out.
Yeah,
I will say that this is like the most packed I've seen theaters in a while.
Yeah. And
that's really cool.
Yeah, and apparently, according to AMC, this has been the highest number of tickets like being sold through AMC since 2019. And we've had like Barbenheimer and shit. Like, there's been some phenomenons in the box office, and those movies made a whole bunch of money. But I think there's something about these movies that they're so simple, but they speak a lot to a lot of people.
This also like seeing the success of like horror movies like this. You know what it makes? It low-key kind of pisses me off because it makes me think of the Oscars.
Yeah.
Because it's like I think it wasn't until recently, like with films like Sinners and like Weapons.
Yeah.
To where they actually really started to like
nominate horror movies.
Yeah, like give horror, like, because I feel like, man, like with the amount of fucking because I talk about this with my sister a lot too.
Yeah.
Like the amount of different and unique storytelling you're able to get in like the horror genre specifically. Yeah. Like, it's amazing that it's not like we don't see films of that nature nominated more.
Yeah, and I think it started with Get Out too. Like, Get Out won Best Original Screenplay, was nominated for a bunch of these. But I do think, and it's crazy because like people were saying that back when Hereditary, because I still think the Toni Collette's performance in Hereditary is like the biggest.
No, yeah, that dinner scene is iconic.
The biggest snub in Oscar history. Like that's the performance of like a lifetime. Not to mention Midsummer, which has like my favorite performance from Florence Pugh as the main girl. Yeah, it's just like
I know,
Danny is a fucking it's just the best screenplay. but yeah,
I can't believe I had to watch that shit.
And you're gonna watch it again. You're gonna watch it again soon somehow. I don't know why, but we're gonna do that shit. You watch Terrifier, bro. You like that shit. Fuck it.
Yeah, but I mean, Terrifier is like stupid weird. Yours is like weird. There's a difference.
My shit has fun being weird. Your weird is psychotic.
No, like my weird like makes you question life. Like, why did I have to see that?
What's mine?
No, that is yours.
Oh, that's mine.
Mine is like, oh, that shit's really fucking dumb. That's it.
That shit's so fucking funny. But I think we talked about. I do think it's a little too long. Real quick with the criticism, I do think it's a little too long. I do think Nikki is the standout. I think the other people are fine to good, but I do like the best friend though. I think he's funny.
Oh yeah,
I think he's really funny. The fucking tequila at fucking trivia night is like really funny. Wait,
I didn't even fucking say my favorite scene aside from the fucking like the steering wheel scene.
Yeah.
it's the scene where they all go out like that night, and it's like awkward as shit because the other girl is like sitting next to him.
Yeah.
And then there's a fucking scene where Nikki literally just gets up from her seat and fucking moves her chair out of the way.
And I love how much that scene drags out. Maybe it drags out too much, but like it's great. It reminded me, you know what it reminded me of?
Yeah.
It reminded me of Happiness inside, like of how like awkward this shit is. And you know what, Happiness is like a horror movie in a lot of ways.
Oh, I hate that you referenced that movie.
But it reminded me, this movie does remind me of the best. I do think its like length like could have been shortened, and that's something the director even commented on, of like how his use of long takes actually affected like how hard the editing was with the pace. So I think, but I cannot wait to see what he does.
Yeah,
does next.
A great fucking first.
You know, at first I rated 3.5 out of 5, 7 out of 10, but I'm glad I got to sit on it. I'm glad I got to delay the podcast to sit on this fucking movie, because I think I'm gonna bump it up to an 8 out of 10, 4 out of 5.
Do you remember? I think did I give it a 4?
4 out of 5, yeah.
Yeah. I think I might have given it a 4 out of 5. But yeah, this was honestly one of my favorite horror movies that I've seen in the theater in a while.
Yeah. And we did love Weapons too. We love like horror that's happening. And Weapons won an Oscar too. That's crazy.
Also, yeah, I will say also, like, as far as just like musically and sonically, I think Sinners is still like a once in a lifetime experience.
Yeah.
Because that shit was fucking amazing. Like, just the music in that movie is insane.
It's solid. It's really good. It's really good. And you were putting that music over a movie we watched between Backrooms.
So, listen, I mean,